Stand up for themselves. We're labeled a racist. And by the way, you call people racist when you want them to stop talking about things.
No, I called you a racist because you admitted you were a racist. Hang on. I called, just to be clear, I called you a racist because you openly, proudly admitted you're a racist. So it wasn't a question of exposing you or pointing my finger or trying to get this out of you. You proudly sat there, bold as brass, and said, yeah, I use the N-word all the time against black people. I'm a racist and I'm proud of it. That's what you did.
Racism is just having a preference. I prefer not to live around black people. I prefer not to live in a country where white people in our country are disproportionately attacked by black people. Where in my country, you can have an Austin Metcalf where he asks a guy to leave and he gets stabbed in the heart. I prefer that. That's a preference. Now, what a real racist is, in my opinion, is seeing someone as less human. I'm a Christian. I believe everyone's created in God's image. So I don't see anyone as less human. But that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to have a preference and say, I don't like what happens to be coming out of this community or that community. How is that a bad thing? How is that not just a preference?
Because you've literally made black people sound lesser humans. You don't want to live around them. You want to use the N-word in relation to them, a word that you know causes that community unbelievable offense.
My fault? Is that my fault? If they have bad behavior, if they want to act in a certain way, if I have to cross the street and be afraid that maybe because of the crime statistics that are very real, by the way, is that my fault or is that their fault for having bad behavior?
That's mind-boggling to me for multiple reasons. I mean, we're talking about bad behavior. You know, we've never lynched you. We've never enslaved you. We've never done any of the deep-seated structural forms of injustice to white people that white people have done to black people. And yet, to claim some kind of moral superiority in the midst of, and again, in the context of a conversation where a white woman is calling a 5-year-old autistic child the N-word, and we're talking about black people's bad behavior, this is absurd. And the idea of fighting fire with fire, again, is a dishonest argument. Just to take us back to the point here, the people who are supporting Carmelo Anthony's campaign believe that he was wrongfully charged, and they're trying to get him legal defense. The people who are defending this woman are saying, yes, we know you called the 5-year-old autistic black child the N-word, and we want more of it. We approve of it. We support it. These are not the same thing. And it's bonkers to me that we couldn't all stand and say, hey, it is wrong to call a 5-year-old autistic black child the N-word.
Unashamedly. And you will
go
not
on, then, say it. Say
you
the
will not have
Go on, say the N-word. Go on.
I'm not
hang on.
No. I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me, because I'm the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word, because that's basically what it's going to be. There's a bunch of white people up here, one Uncle Tom on the left here, and to ask her to say the N-word while I'm here is ridiculous. You would not sit here with a Jewish person and say, please use a Jewish slur in front of this Jewish. It's ridiculous. I understand you don't have any bad intent, Pierce. I understand what you're trying to do, but we already know she's racist, and I don't want to invite a racial harm to me.
I hear you, and I accept that, and we'll leave it there. Thank you all very much.
This year's theme was Superfine, tailoring black style, an homage to black dandyism. What's that, you ask? No one has any idea. Prepare yourself, however, for a deep dive into leftist, academic, gobbledygook, nonsensical talk, which is probably how it got chosen as the Met Gala theme. That and their desire to pander to black people. The Met says black dandyism came from the intersection of African and European-style traditions, of course. What does that mean? I have no idea. But it seems to be based on a 2009 book written by a woman named Monica Miller called Slaves to Fashion, Black Dandyism and the Styling of Black Diasporic Identity. Okay, so far we have dandyism, intersection, and diasporic identity. So we're betting 1,000 on the scale of leftist code language that will make liberals sound smarter and feel superior. Ms. Miller's book provides as follows, quote, "The black dandy's style is, from the beginning, always simultaneously personal, cultural, representative of the race, and about representation, even as it evaluates norms of racialization, class privileges, gender assignments, and the rules of sexuality in ways similar to that of his European dandy brothers. All clear now? No, no one is. The whole point is to lose you and sound smarter than you by saying words that are totally empty and meaningless. Dandyism, for those still lost and looking for meaning, is, per the New York Times, quote, a style of elevated dress once imposed upon enslaved people, remade by black aesthetes. What is an aesthete, you ask? Why, it's a person who has or pretends to have a special appreciation of art and beauty, like that woman who wrote the book and the people at the Met and the people who write at the New York Times, who must be really familiar with the term aesthete, aesthete, because it sounds like them. In any event, aesthetes who remake all of this into a tool of social mobility and self-definition. Does anyone understand any of this any better? No, you're not meant to, you dumbasses. You have to go to Harvard to understand what these people are saying, how they speak, and how they code talk. It's all just a dressed up way of saying, by the way, we are pandering to black people because we love black people, and that makes us good people. So what did we see last night? Well, it was basically Black Lives Matter at the Met. It was a parade of black Americans, leftists, in their dandy style, which, near as I can figure, appears to mean over-the-top black and white with weird shapes and vaginas showing. That's also apparently part of dandyism. Cramming into the Met, where the invitation-only tickets went for $75,000 a plate, and that's only for the losers willing to actually pay to rub elbows with stars like Lisa. Who is Lisa? You ask? Yes, I wanted to know too. She's the girl from White Lotus who was dating the security guard. Remember? She's top-notch star talent. Right there, people. Lisa. And how did Lisa interpret superfine dandyism? Apparently it meant putting Rosa Parks on her vagina. Yes.
All right, Shalom. Before I begin, I'd like to start out by giving all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh, and double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone who teach us 100% truth. Peace and salutation to the Lord's elect that be in the house of David. All right, today is May the 10th, year 2025, the hopeful year of our deliverance. All right, the hour being the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans through the seed of our fathers. On this side, the elect, all right, slotted for salvation and deliverance. 2/3 are slotted for destruction. All right, as well as judgment and destruction to the so-called self-proclaimed white nation, which they're not white, they're red. And according to the Bible, all right, they're the red Hebrew Edomites, all right, the descendants of Esau, all right, and they're our wicked brothers and sisters from the womb, all right, you know what I'm saying? So this lesson is going to be dealing with that, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, just how Esau is unable to hide his hate and disdain for you niggas. I heard he's basically to the point now where he don't even want to. All right, you know, these devils is getting back in that ancient hatred mode, all right, against you niggas. All right, and Jake is being roused up on the left-hand side as well. You know what I'm saying? Jake crashing out and shit, running down Edomite cops and all that, you know. So it's all, you know, cumulating to be a big class and race war between, you know what I'm saying, Jacob and Esau again. All right, that division. All right, so I showed you a couple of clips. All right, you know what I'm saying. The last one in particular, I think that was Megyn Kelly. All right, she's going into how the Met Gala was basically, you know what I'm saying, an event pandering to quote unquote black people. All right, you know what I mean. So, you know, these Edomites is getting mad. They're getting in that state to where they want to put you niggas back in your place. All right, so we're going to read a couple of scriptures, Lord willing, to be edifying. All right, I'm going to start out right here in Sirach, excuse me, of the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, starting at verse 10. It reads, never trust thine enemy. Like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. All right, and the enemy that they're speaking of, first and foremost, is Esau. All right, again, when you read that Psalms 83, the list of our enemies, All right, the first name on that list, all right, is Edom. All right, let me get that right quick. It's Psalms 83. All right, let's start at we'll read it from the top. Verse 1, it say, keep not thy silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies, so this is plural, so we got more than one enemy, make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And let's see what these nations are. It says the tabernacles of Edom. All right, the Edomites. All right, then it says, and the Ishmaelites. Then it says of Moab and the Hagarenes. So our number 1 and 2 and 3 enemies on this earth is the Edomites, the Ishmaelites, and the Moabites. All right, Edom represents the so-called white man, Ishmael represents the Arab nations, and Moab represents the Chinese. All right, so these are our top 3 enemies. Now it goes on to name more. All right, and Esau's on the list again, where it says Amalek. All right, in verse 7. All right, that's the Jewish man. He's the the face that runs the place. He's the chief house of the wicked. All right, he's the chief house of Edom, Amalek. All right, the Jewish people. All right, that's why the Israelis, all right, extort extort America for everything they got and laugh at them while they're doing it. All right, so, just showing that these are our enemies. All right, these Edomites, they're the number 1 enemy of Israel. All right, so you can never trust these devils. All right, what do 2/3 of our people do? They put their full trust in this devil. All right, they're what the scripture tell you in John 8:44. Ye are of your father the devil, so them niggas are just like him. All right, in their own wicked way. Verse 11, it say, though he humbleth himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. All right, because these devils don't change. All right, you know what I'm saying? Esau is if the Lord gave you the eyes to see and the ears to hear, you know this devil. All right, you know him better than he knows himself. All right, verse 12, it says, set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. All right, what these devils call themselves today? They call themselves the children of the Lord. They say they the Jews. All right, where the rest of the tribes are, no one knows, but they definitely say they the Jews. All right, goddamn devils. They even put themselves up as the Lord. All right, they took Yahweh Shai's image down and put up an Edomite. All right, named Cesare Bajor. All right, you know what I'm saying? Caesar. All right, they put their own people up. They put their own selves up as the people of the Lord. All right, and that's in the scriptures as well. All right, First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48. I think it reads, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen sought to paint likeness of their images. All right, iconoclasm, knocking down the true depictions of what, the Lord's Son, the angels look like, and putting themselves up in their stead. All right, and they forward that shit into the earth even into this day. And you niggas believe it. That's why you niggas is so goddamn crazy behind Jesus. All right, the earth pig. All right, so again, Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and 12, set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be prickled therewith. All right, because these niggas is, these Edomites is fucking thieves, bro. They'll steal everything from you. They'll steal your identity. All right, which they've done. They're the greatest identity theft stealing motherfuckers on the earth. All right, they're the wicked. All right, verse 13, it say, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or such as come now wild beast? And Esau is a serpent. He is a serpent-like being. He's a snake. All right, he's very serpent-like. All right, and if you really want to understand it, the scriptures go into that old serpent, which is the devil, the deceiver, and Satan, the adversary. All right, that's Esau. He was the serpent. All right, in the garden, that was a man. There wasn't no actual snake. All right, talking to Eve. All right, that was a man. All right, and the spirit that was in that man is the same spirit that's in these Edomites, these so-called white people today. All right, that deceptive, deceitful, spirit, all right? 2/3 of our people, all right, they've been taken by it, all right, they embody it, all right, and on certain days, they can be more serpent-like than Esau can, all right? This in Jeremiah, tell you how people surpass the deeds of the wicked. Verse 14, so one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. All right, soon as Esau got you where he wants you, all right, he finna start, you know what I'm saying, turning that knife in your back, all right? Verse 16, the enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart being mine, he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. All right, just go back to Genesis 27 when I think it's Genesis 27 when Jacob got the blessing. All right, and Esau he stated, he said, the days are more than my father at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. But even before that, when he found out that Jacob got the blessing from Isaac, what that devil say, even me also, and he left up his voice and wept. All right, started crying like a little bitch. All right, that's what these Edomites do. But behind them tears is swords. All right, behind them wicked red tears is swords. All right, they ready to kill you. All right, and it just said if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. All right, verse 17. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. All right, Esau, the Edomites. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. What was Piers Morgan telling Mark Hill? He said, all right, Mark, I understand you. And because of that, I'm going to leave it right there. All right, but that don't change the fact that Piers Morgan don't give a fuck about you niggas. All right, he'll bring you on his show, all right, and let you plead your cause and, you know, do all that bullshit. But that's just for the views and for the, you know, the sensationalism. He don't really give a fuck about you devils. I mean, it's like, you know, really, yeah, well, he is a devil, but he don't give a fuck about you black devils. All right, anybody that's calling themselves black, all right, you know, referring to themselves as black when you're clearly brown, you're a man. Listen, you are as your father, the devil. All right, you just like him. All right, and you want his pity. All right, like the elders was going into a camp last night. Love us, Esau. Why don't you love us? All right, Esau don't love you like that. All right, y'all niggas thought y'all was Kobe. You know, being funny. All right, because that's what that's what Draymond Green told Paul Pierce when he was on his retirement tour. He told that nigga, they don't love you like that, nigga. What, you thought you was Kobe or something? Talking about you on a farewell tour. Nigga, they don't love you like that. You got that fake love. And that's how you niggas is in the eyes of Esau. They don't love you like that, nigga. All right? They don't love you like that. All right? But keep trying to seek it and see where it gets you. Verse 18, he will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. All right? Esau gonna look at you like, I don't know you, nigga. Shit, what the fuck you talking about, nigga? I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? But hey, our people, all right, they were given into that nigga hands to be done that way. All right, so that's why we ain't to feel bad for him. We ain't to lift up cry prayer nor make intercession for him, all right? Because the Lord ain't gonna hear it. All right, seest thou not what they do is in the streets of Jerusalem? All right, in Jerusalem, a people for his place. Seest thou not what they do in the cities of Babylon? You don't see what these wicked niggas do? All right, and then want Esau to love them. And listen, ain't no love out here, all right? The time that we coming into, the love of many is gonna wax cold, all right? And Esau gonna be on your ass out here, bro. He ready to get in that mode right now, all right? Matthew chapter 24:12, and because of iniquity, sin upon sin, shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, all right? And that's where we at with it, all right? And this is just the beginning, all right? You know, I watched the video earlier. I seen someone, you know, the ports ain't being filled. There's only one ship left to drop some at the port. I think on May the 11th. That's the last incoming to Babylon. All right, so you know it's about to get real in the field. All right, and Esau is coming to kill. All right, because that was his job and his duty. That's his blessing, the sword. All right, and the Lord is sending him against wicked niggas. All right, the hypocritical of our nation. All right. So that's pretty much it for the lesson, you know what I'm saying? Just saying some things I want to speak on a little bit, showing that Esau getting back in that mode. All right. Getting ready to slaughter you wicked niggas. All right. And Jake is getting in that mode too. All right. We ain't going to say it like he ain't. All right. I'm going to close it out right here in Amos 1 and 11. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother, which is Jacob, with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. All right, even to this day. All right, the generations and generations and generations to follow. All right, these devils is getting back in their ancient mode of hate. All right, toward Jake. All right. So again, it was just something quick and to the point. Lord willing, it was edifying. Flow together, it made sense. All honor, glory, and praise go to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh, and double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone who teach this 100% truth. Peace and salutations to the Lord's elect that be in the house of David, Kwam Yasharala, and the Bible Ball. Shalom.